night operations.
Good morning. We had a very good night last night. Over on Branch 10, all divisions on the wall bridge continue to strengthen, mop up and patrol these lines. Continued calls of service for the residents in Foxtrot, India, and Lima. However, those are diminishing. Over in Branch 20, Tango is continuing, mop up and patrol, strengthening these lines over on the western end of that. In uniform, everything's looking really good here. This pocket cutout has been completed, and the dozers are putting in this contingency piece right here. They started early this morning and intend to have that completed by noon. Moving up into Branch 25, Victor and Whiskey, this all got completed yesterday. All the backhaul got done, hose got pulled, and it went into patrol status at 2000 last night on staff. In Branch 30 and 40, continued patrol status. We had one engine for both branches last night for service calls for the community, and that is diminished significantly as well. Have a good day.
For our management objectives, we're going to provide for emergency personnel and public safety at all times, ensure COVID-19 precautions and best practices are met at all times, protect property improvement and infrastructure, ensure coordinated, timely, and accurate release of public information, foster and maintain relationships with all cooperators and stakeholders, protect economic, natural, cultural, and heritage resources, and maintain fiscal accountability and keep costs commensurate with the values at risk. For Branch 10, we're going to keep the fire north of the Russian River, south of Kelly Road, east of King Ridge Road, and west of Dry Creek Road. For Branch 20, 25, 30, and 40, we're going to keep the fire north of Highway 12, south of Highway 20, east of Highway 29, and west of the 16 and Sand Creek Road. Now with incident weather, incident meteorologist Scott Carpenter.
Good morning. The very hot air mass, historically hot air mass, remains in place across the area. We had several sites overnight stay in the upper 80s, even in the lower 90s, above 1,000 feet elevation. So really hot conditions remain in place with humidity recoveries overnight only into the teens through much of the overnight period, sitting now in the lower 20% range. So that leads us to one more day of our excessive heat warning that we've been in. We'll have temperatures just a few degrees cooler than yesterday, but not cooler by any means. Still going to be really hot. Many areas up in that above 105 degrees again. We will see the northwest winds kick in this afternoon. After about 1500, we'll see some gusts to around 20. And then as we get into the later evening hours, those gusts will actually pick up and be gusting to around 30 after about 2200 this evening. Then one of our critical weather patterns is, of course, when we break out of a big high pressure area like that, and that's what's going to happen tonight is we have a cold front pushing down from the north out of Canada, and that is going to turn our winds around to the northeast for late tonight and into tomorrow. And so those winds, as the forecast keeps updating, the winds are getting stronger for early tomorrow morning. We're now anticipating seeing northeast gusts of 40 to 45 miles per hour by sunrise tomorrow morning. So we'll have a much different situation when we talk again in the morning. With that, have a safe. And with that, we have a red flag warning that starts at 2200 tonight and goes all the way through Tuesday and into early Wednesday morning. So have a good day.
Fire behavior analyst Robert Clark.
Thanks, Jeff. So with that, we heard the great news from Scott the IMED about this weather change. The big thing out there today is the change in the winds. We have had this critical heat and these dry fuels over the last couple days. So any fuels out there are still extremely dry, as they have been through the duration of this incident. The type of fire behavior that we saw when this started is still possible. With those increased winds, we can expect even more spread than we had when this all started. So think about that. Late tonight, those winds are going to be west to northwest. Okay? Then, towards the late evening hours, they're going to switch around more north. After 2200 hours into the early morning hours, and then into the northeast. So visualize that when you guys are out there, your sections of line that are out there that are going to be exposed to the wind speeds are going to increase, and it's still going to be hot and very dry. On page 5 of the IEP, the fire behavior forecast, let's pencil in the change there real quick for me. On the spotting distance on that, I'm going to go ahead and raise that spotting distance up to 1.5 miles due to the change in the forecast to those higher gusts down there. And that's if we have a new fire start outside the line that is aggressively pushing. So keep that in mind. Keep your heads on the swivel out there. Pay attention to the weather changes. The red flag warning goes into effect tonight at 2200 hours through Wednesday morning. Thank you and have a safe shift.
Day operations, Chris Waters and Resource Unit Leader Dan Brown with roll call and work assignments.
Good morning. All Branch 10 resources roll call will occur at the Sonoma County Fairgrounds after this briefing. Starting with fire suppression repair, Jason Busher.
Here.
Fire suppression repair East, Len Nielsen.
Here.
Branch 20, Carl Schwetman.
Here.
Sarasota Tango, JC Greenberg.
Here.
Union, James Flynn.
Here.
Branch 25, Jason Marsh.
Here.
All resources report to Branch on Victor, Whiskey. Branch 3040, Mark Leak.
Here.
And all resources report to the branch.
Good morning, everybody. Start out with the Long Bridge Fire again. Again, mop up, patrol, keep going after some of those hot spots as you find. Make sure you're gridding the black that's close to the line. We've got a wind event coming. We want to make sure we're prepared for it. And then continue with the interior fire line suppression repair. Over on Hennessy, right over here at Tango, that's been a thorn in our side from the very beginning. That's where the heat is showing up on the IR. Want to continue to grid and mop that up because it's hung out here, so that northeast or even northwest wind comes down. It's going to be fairly exposed. We're going to have a significant problem if it gets out of there. Up here on the north, we're looking really good. The being patrol status for the most part up on the north end of the fire. And in other locations today, there's going to be fire line suppression repair and a little bit of heavy equipment use. A couple things about suppression repair. If you're in the black, it's one thing. No reason to stop working. If you're anywhere near the green with any heavy equipment today, it's 1,300 hours and that's it. That's completely it. Just shut it down. There's no reason to continue for the risks that it poses because there's a history of that kind of stuff taking off or having ignitions because of heavy equipment. So please, if you're near the green, shut down at 1,300 hours. Additionally, fire behavior, hot, dry, and windy. Okay, it's really exposed up here in this country, up here in Tango. It's up high, it's hot, and it's going to get windy. We've really got to pay attention to that area, and then we have to really pay attention to supporting the local unit for any new starts. Because in those conditions, anything that gets out there is going to take off. So we got to be thinking about our risk to the unit and the work that we're doing, the things that we have left to take care of, and then also the things that we may face as we go over the next 24 to 36 hours with this new wind event. So be on your toes. Thank you.
Air Operations Branch Director Mike Beacon.
Yeah, good morning. Air operations priorities today is going to be initial attack, supporting the incident with water dropping and supporting a couple recon missions. Today, order up aircraft as you need through H3. We'll have the Type 2 over on that side. We'll have the Type 1s over in M7 Helibase. If all goes well and everyone's shut down early enough this evening, we're going to have our copters up, pre-flighted at 0600 and ready to fly by 0700 tomorrow morning.
Medical Unit Leader Josh Clark.
Morning, thank you. Page 27 is your 206. With some of the changes, continue to focus on your personnel. It's getting hotter and drier out there, so make sure dehydration symptoms are being monitored. With the decrease in staff, we have had CalMat demobilized here at Calistoga. So any of your crew or any personnel needs, make sure to see MERT down by the exit. And there's still CalMat over at Sonoma. There's also been a change with ambulances, and there's only one ambulance over here, so in Middletown, so make sure you monitor and take a look to see what ambulance is closest to you. Look at your 9-line, review that for any information that needs to be put through dispatch, and then remember, health is something that's given to you, or it's not something that's given to you, it comes as a result of your actions. Thank you.
Communications Unit Leader John McCormick.
Hey, good morning. So no change in the comp plan today. If you do need to review it, the West Zone comp plan is on page 28, East Zone page 29, the local IA response is on page 30. Continue monitoring your air to ground, CDF TAC 24 for the west, CDF TAC 25 for the east. We are looking for radios, so if you have radios checked out, we need to get those back in, especially in Santa Rosa. Santa Rosa will not have any more radio techs after the close of business tomorrow on Tuesday, so make sure you get those stuff in so you don't have to travel from Santa Rosa to Calistoga to turn that in. Radio repairs, close the shop today. Will be the last for radio repairs, so if you have something that needs to be repaired, make sure you get them in to us before 1700 hours. And then if you have any MiFis or anything else checked out for the Calistoga camp, make sure all that stuff's in by 1700 tomorrow. Have a safe shift.
Safety Officer Ryan Danielson.
Good morning. First we'll talk about the high temp. So unless you live in Blythe or Reading, these are not normal temps for you. Please have your crews hydrate and have them hydrate some more and hydrate again. And then also let's set realistic work expectations. And so we do have a goal to meet, but let's make sure our folks are getting the rest needed. We did have 3 heat-related illness injuries yesterday. 2 went to the hospital. Please take care of your folks. Driving, it's the last day of holiday traffic. There's always hazards, but there's more people on the roadways. Please obey the speed limits and drive defensively. And then fire behavior, also we've been driving this home, have a plan, right? So spotting a mile and a half. So let's set some realistic tactic expectations, and it's probably going to be an anchor and flank when the winds do arise, and let's be safe. Have a good day.
Logistics Section Chief Milford Ferguson.
Morning. A few things as we close up camp here in a few days. Returns only, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, just in supply. Get any chainsaw repairs in by tomorrow noon for pickup Wednesday morning. Also, again, there's some face wipes in there in supply for you to pick up and try out and use, put on your equipment. And let's continue, make sure we're hooking up the runners, pick up hose and backhaul stuff and get that stuff back to camp. Laundry here at camp will be noon tomorrow for pickup that afternoon or next morning. We'll have it ready for you. And also last breakfast will be here Wednesday morning, and all services will continue in the Sonoma camp for the rest of the week at minimum. Have a good shift.
For demob, if you can't find yourself in the IAP, please check the demob list before you go to unassigned. Page 37 is a demob plan. Go ahead and scan the QR code from the camp that you're at, and that will give you the instructions for that specific camp. For training technical specialist, if you were here as a trainee, don't forget to check out with the training technical specialist prior to leaving, and she is here at the Calistoga camp. Her phone number is in the IEP if you have any questions. Finance, ensure that ship tickets are in. That will speed the demobilization process up. And now Nathan Ment with information.
Good morning. As we wind down, one of the main purposes of the PIO shop is to be a relation in between you guys and the community. Typically, we're putting out information to that community relating to the incident. We would like you guys to relay to your crews now that the community has a lot of messages of thank you for them, so please forward that on. The acreage of the fire remains the same. The containment continues to rise. Please adhere to the social media policy. And then if you guys have any further questions in regards to civilians out on the line seeking out information, I'm going to forward you to 707-967-4207. Thank you. Have a good day.
Few closing comments. Again, Branch 10 will continue to brief its NOMA. If you are here at the Calistoga camp and are reporting to Branch 10, please ensure that you're going to your drop points to brief with your division supervisor. Also like to remind everybody that there is no parking in the residential community here around the Calistoga camp. Please adhere to the no parking signs. Calistoga Police Department can and will issue citations if you're parked in those areas. Unassigned resources will be to my left with Dan Brown. No cooperators meeting. Next planning meeting is at 1600 today. Next operational briefing is at 0700. For our branch and division breakouts, in this room, starting at branch 20 to my left, circling around the room to branch 40 on my right with fire suppression repair,